All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Karkadash. This all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to Old Philek. I'm the brother Tazabah out of Great Millstone, Arizona. So I want to get into, this topic and tie in some information to bring some understanding to let you know we basically already in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. It's everything's just set in place. It's just a matter of time till this devil pounces. And like elder apostle Gabar said, Esau is that coiled snake ready to pounce, and he's also that lion that bowed to the earth. So this devil is really, everything he's been doing is made for the purposes of getting Jake. So let's play this. We'll get into this, and Lord will it all be edifying. Before I start this, I want to say fair use. I always got to do this because people try to act like we saying some crazy shit. Now, this copyright disclaimer under Title 17 U.S. Supreme Court, Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So let's get into this.
Hey, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen, and it did happen. But we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here, too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget in our country. I think we're down the street. They're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here, too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we're born in our country. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here, too.
You see? And this devil's on the tirade. He don't care no more. He don't care. And it's perfect because this is Isaiah 19 and 4 says, an Egyptian will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, say Yahweh of hosts. And this is New Egypt. America is New Egypt. America is the virgin daughter of Babylon, right? This is the valley of death. He said it right there himself. He said there's people that ain't even born here that are committing crimes, and I think we might as well get them out of here too. But when he talks about these people, he's not talking about other Edomites, right? He's talking about the tribes. Because when you go to the policy of it all, who are the main ones that they're arresting, locking up, put in jail?
Down in Texas, Governor Greg.
No, not that one. That's not the one I want. That's it.
You want to hear the most scary major breaking news we've had?
No, that's not it. Because when you go to the news about this, all he's worried about is deporting the tribes, man. Venezuelans. You know what? I actually think I got it right here, man. This, where's it at? You know, it's in the Elder Yashawamba's video. I wanted to get
Okay,
it.
let's check this out.
Are now being told to self-deport from Cuba.
Okay, the tribes are feeling it.
We are following some breaking news out of Washington. The Trump administration is now telling migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela that their legal status is being revoked. More than 500,000 migrants are now being told to self-deport or face being forcibly arrested and removed from the United States. This comes.
See, he's not mentioning all these Germans that are here illegally. He's not mentioning none of them. Right? The policy is against you tribes. And you didn't want to recognize these
This
things.
week, we're hosting a free trading and
So
investing
man,
workshop
fucking
right here in
commercials,
Scottsdale. Inside this workshop,
Since the court handed
You tribes didn't want to recognize these things, and you wanted to act like America was your saving grace. The scriptures tell you in Lamentation. I think it's the 4th chapter. I think it's Lamentation 4:16. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Four and 17. It says, as for our eyes, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we watch for a nation that could not save us. And that's what the tribes have done. You thought America was the end all be all for you. Right? Remember, you had all the Issacharites voting for this devil. Now the trouble's about to start hitting, the southern kingdom's door, the darker tribes. Right? And we about to see this thing intensify. Now, I'm stitching all this information together, right? And I want to bring out a couple more facts in a minute here, and we can just start going through the scriptures. But this is what you're seeing. This devil is laying his eyes to earth, right? Just like it says in Psalms 17. Or is it Psalm 7? Yeah, Psalm 17 in verse 11. It says they have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bound down to the earth. And this is what this devil has done. You got to actually start up at 8, man. It says, keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. And this is what this devil is doing. They're able to sit here and legally go into your shit, no warrant, strip you out. And now the new legislation is this.
Since the court handed down the Trump v. Casa case, where it used birthright citizenship, used that issue to basically prohibit judges, federal judges, lower court judges, from issuing universal or nationwide injunctions, a question has arisen that I want to address in this video. And that question is whether or not Trump can deport Black Americans, African Americans, especially those whose ancestors were enslaved in this country, what many people call foundational Black Americans. And the answer is yes, he certainly can. This case made it much easier. This case gave Trump the tool to do just that. Despite him saying, I heard him say it with my own ears recently, the day after the case came down, or maybe even the same day, that the 14th Amendment was added for the babies of slaves. Well, that is true. However, the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment does not apply just to the descendants of enslaved people. That is not the way it is written. It actually says all persons. So it's not written that way, it's not interpreted that way, and it's not applied that way. All right, so keep that in mind. It's really important. And I believe Trump is saying that so that he can divide the Black and brown community. To say this is not, birthright citizenship is not for you. Basically, it's for Blacks. And you're trying to take something in. You're trying to take something from them. I think that is intended to pit us against each other. And I also think that he's saying that to deceive blacks into believing that he is for us, when clearly he is not for us. All right? But let's get back to nationwide injunctions, because when the U.S. Supreme Court got rid of nationwide injunctions, that basically gave Trump free reign to do just about anything he wants to do, including deporting American citizens, not just black Americans. And the basic reason why is because no judge can stop him, not with respect to the entire country. A judge can stop someone who files lawsuit against Trump. But think about it. If Trump snatch up, say, 100 African Americans and deport them to Sudan or Libya or Nicaragua or El Salvador or wherever, those people are gone.
Have you seen that ad? Control the pawns to the left and to the
Yeah,
right.
commercials,
+2, -3, kind of a running forward.
Gone. They're out of the country. They're God knows wherever. And so let's say one of their family members file a lawsuit on their behalf. And let's say they successfully get an injunction from the judge. Well, it used to be, before this case, that the judge could say, basically, you got to return all 100 of these African Americans because you unlawfully deported them. But now, with this case, the judge could only say you got to bring that one person back. And the other 99, although it's unlawful, he cannot prohibit that unless they do a class action lawsuit. And class action lawsuits can take months, if not years, to get certified.
See? So this devil has been plotting. He's bound his eyes to the earth. This is Psalm 17. Now, you sit here and you mass deporting people. And this plot goes deep. When you really start going in and you lining all this stuff up with some of the other information I'm going to show, you can see that this devil is literally plotting deep. Very deeply. It says, they are enclosed in their own fat. Verse 10, Psalm 17 and 10. They are enclosed in their own fat. And I wonder what this says in a... Let me get it. And... see what it says. I wonder what it says in the GNT. Does it have the GNT on here? Let's see what it says. Psalm 17 and 10, it says, an intelligent person learns from one rebuke, then fools learn. 17? Oh, that's Proverbs. Psalm 17 and 10, it says, I'll start at 9, it says, start at 8, it says, protect me as you would your very eyes. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. From the attacks of the wicked, deadly enemies surround me. They have no pity and speak proudly. They are around me now, wherever I turn, watching for a chance to pull me down. And this is what you're seeing. They are like lions waiting for me, waiting to tear me in pieces. And this is what they're doing. Come, O Yahweh, come, Yahweh, oppose my enemies and defeat them. And this is what you're seeing. I like it how it says in the KJV better. It says they are enclosed in their own fat, right? With their mouth they speak proudly. They have compassed us in our steps, meaning they surrounded us. They're doing it by law, injunction. literally every outlet that you have to basically, get around this devil's laws and everything like that. Every loophole, he's shutting it down. He's literally compassing Jake, because he's not going after all these other nations. There's a bunch of Moabites here. When you think the Moabites and them fucking massage parlors giving out happy endings, you think the motherfuckers is here legally? You think them niggas is really here legally like that, man? They ain't going in there doing no deportations, but they going to the farms where Jake worked. Now they about to start going for the Haitians, the Levites, which are all the tribes of Israel. That's who they going after. It says, they have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of the prey. This is what they wanted, right? Remember, the heathen said, surely this is the day we look for. This is what they wanted. It says, and as it were, a young lion lurking in secret places, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And this is why this devil's coming down, because the Lord is going to use him as his sword. And Jake hasn't taken the warning serious from the prophets. Remember, the scriptures talk about how they misused the prophets until it was found hateful. Jake has sat here and just went online, talk shit, buffeted us, act like we didn't know what we was talking about, even though we went through every one of the scriptures that they never heard. You through. Jake is through. And this time Jake is through. This is Revelation. Because what you're seeing is this come to pass. Revelation 13 and 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. Now, when you go to that word dragon, it's the Greek word going into an Athenian lawgiver, dracon or draconian laws, strict, swift laws, judgment straight up. They come get you for any infraction. They deport your ass, and it's made illegal. They made a process so you would personally have to sit here and try to defend yourself. But what did the scripture say? Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, tells you how they're going to run that game. So Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 10, it says, let us oppress the righteous man. Let us not spare the widow. And this is how you moving. It says, no reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. You know they're going to be deporting all the elderly like nothing. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. And this is what they're going to show, that you're feeble, so you weren't worth anything. There's no reason. You're of no consequence, right? And Trump said it. I don't care. Even if you were born here, he said, maybe we got to get rid of them too, right? Let me find this one. Now, I want to tie this into this, because this is the time we coming to, man. That dragon is speaking, and now everything's being set up to what? Detain and arrest you. Because they made all these laws to sit here and label anybody and everybody a terrorist. And Jake is going to be put on that list.
Down in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, they're ordering state law enforcement.
And when they put travel bans on countries, they put it because there's a heightened threat. Now you sit here and say there's sleeper cells all throughout the U.S., and you got travel bans on these countries that you're labeling as dangerous and not to go to. So in a lot of these countries are the same ones that they're deporting.
To elevate readiness, the vice president says the U.S. is ready to defend itself.
Well, it's always hard to guess what the other side is going to do, but what we're prepared for is if they attack us in a maximal direction, first of all, we've got maximum defensive posture. I think that we're going to be able to defend as many of our people as possible. And of course, I'd encourage.
Now, there could be a legitimate threat, but what Esau's going to like they say, let no crisis go to waste. Let no good crisis go to waste. They're using this as a means to actually come at you trials, because you're the target. You're in the scope, right?
I'm going to play you a clip from that documentary that's been kind of like scrubbed now of what these immigration camps remind me of, and how this administration isn't unfamiliar with these practices. And this all ties into how he wants to rebuild Gaza, how he wants to deport citizens that are criminals, and the new reversal of the ban of asbestos that he wants the EPA to do, which ties to Russia, who is a major producer of that material. And they use it in the Middle East for building. I'll probably make it into different parts because it's very long.
Paradise in the Middle East, home to the world's largest and most luxurious malls, hotels and golf courses, promising unprecedented luxury for the few who can afford it. So this is Sheikh Zayed Road, one of the most famous landmarks in Dubai. Billions and billions of dollars of real estate, and then literally in the shadows of that is this slum. So the hundreds of thousands of men who actually built Dubai, this is where they live. The UAE's record on migrant workers' rights is well known, so we started our investigation by looking at NYU. When they were enticed into Abu Dhabi, they established their own labour standards so that subcontractors building their campus would treat their workers fairly. Those standards were tested when one group of workers went on strike. They lived 2 hours drive away from the campus site in Dubai. So this is one of the many labour camps in Dubai, and there are just dozens of huge buildings that look like a cross between warehouses and prisons. This is the Dubai that most tourists you can never see. Striking is strictly illegal in the UAE, but these workers eventually felt like they had no other option.
So 572 there इतने गुमती में कोई भी 8 साल 7 साल काम किया है हम लोग गाधा के तरह करते जा रहे हैं.
So can you describe how the company reacted when you went on strike?
4 आइटम का पुलिस आया, पूरा बॉडी काला कपड़ा डालकर आया, पूरा पिस्तौल इन लोगों के पास है, मशीन गन है, सब कुछ है, किसी के पास डंडा है. पुलिस तो सबको पकड़ के एक ही जगह में लेके आया. जब नहीं आ रहा था कुछ इधर उधर जा रहा था.
You see, these migrants that were part of the first wave disappeared. They don't have fair due process, and they're held in these detention camps. They want to be able to make calls. They're not letting them make the calls for free. They're literally using Jake for slave labor. And Bro said it. Bro said it when Trump was going around the first time, when he said, "Make America great again." What was the main thing Bro said? When was America great? When you, Jake, were in slavery. That's when America was great. That's when America was great. And you see that the policy is being done in a way to be able to put you back into slavery legally, because they're getting ready to reset this system, and they need slaves. Every system that ever was had slaves to build it up. And because they're getting rid of the old, they're trying to sit here and put Jake back into slavery, but the scriptures tell you, affliction shall not rise up a second time, man. Let me see if I get that real quick. This is Nahum 1:9. It says, "Do you imagine?" It says, I might have to start up a little bit. I started 7. It says, Yahweh is good in a stronghold. Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. And that's what the Lord is going to be for the elect. He's going to be a stronghold, a defense. It says, a stronghold in the day of trouble. And he knoweth them that trust in him. It says, and he knoweth them that trust in him, but with an overrunning flood he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. It says, what do you imagine against Yahweh? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. And these devils really think that they're going to be able to use their laws to sit here and deport, shuffle you off, put you in concentration camps, right? And put you back in slavery to build up their infrastructures and their world all over again. It's not going to fucking happen, man. This is what this devil's been planning. This is what he's been doing. And he's using the laws and the power of justice to do it. But it says, what does the scripture say? Woe to him. I'll get this. We're going to just go down the line. It says, it's Isaiah 3:11. A woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him. For the reward of his hands shall be given him. You see, all this is going to be turned back onto himself. It says, Habakkuk 2:12, it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, that established a city by iniquity. And this is what he's trying to do all over again. All over again. He's putting Jake into captivity through these deportation. It says, man, how did that scripture go? It's yeah, here it is. This is Psalms 64 and 1. It says, the transgression of the wicked saith in his heart, there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes, for he flatter himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. You don't think the Lord is looking at this nigga like, what the fuck are you doing? The scriptures tell you he should have not even looked upon our downfall. It says, the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He had left off to be wise and to do good. He devised mischief upon his bed. He said, he said it himself in a way that is not good. He abhorred not evil. And these devils loved the evil way. It's this one, man. Yeah, this is yeah, let's go on there. Let's go to the rest of this information, man. This is Revelation 13:11. It says, got that. This is the time of Jacob's trouble, man. This is Jeremiah 30. Because this is what this is spelling. And it's all coming after Jake. This is Jeremiah 30 and 7. This is, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. When you're talking about they're literally putting you all back into slavery, and the Lord heaps on more. Reports that they're the same migrants they put on those military cargo planes were washed up in shore. So these planes are just flying over waters, and they're just dumping these migrants into the open water. Not low, you know they're not doing it low. And that water at a high coming into water from high elevation, that water is damn near like hitting concrete. So they're gonna smack that shit, even if they go in with their feet first, and they're just gonna fold. So these people are dying on impact, terrified. This is what's being planned, man. This is alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And the ones that will be saved out of these things are the elect. Right? Now, we're in the beginning stages of this, and it's going to intensify to its perfection. But this is just the beginning of it. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 69. It says, and they that consent unto them. You know what? I got to start at 68. It says, for the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And now you got all these agencies coming after you. Bounty hunters. You got regular ass citizens that just want to sit here and abuse Jake. These Edomite devils that are dressing up like ICE agents, and they not having no affiliation. Kidnapping you, taking you to God knows where. Human trafficking. Taking people's kids. Jake is basically saying they ain't got no choice but to fight, and the Lord is putting them in that position. Because once you see enough Jake get their kids took by some random, and they didn't do nothing, the next person's going to be like, hey, not my kid. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take you away certain of you, and for you being idle with things offered unto idols. And this has already happened in concentration camps. For these migrants, which are going to be concentration camps for all the tribes, and even you regularized U.S. citizens. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. You just willfully gone with these people. They ain't showed you no credentials or nothing. If they gonna deport you, fuck it, fight. I mean, don't sit here and be docile and just let them, just take you away. And then they ain't give you no confirmation that they are who they say they are. You got a right to ask. You got to make sure. Right? And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Right? But this is going to intensify to the time where they just start random ass people up. They're going to hem up bros. Some of us. Some bros might not. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh. And this is what you're seeing. There's an insurrection upon the ones that fear the Lord. And who are those? The Israelites. Ezra even covers. He says, he said, Israel by name kept their precepts, but not the heathen. So the heathen don't fear the Lord. Right? It says, verse 71, it says, they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh. And that's what you're seeing. These devils are moving on a fast pace. And they're moving forward with their plan. And the evils that Jake is coming into is terrible. I mean, look at this. It says a new immigration detention camp is being built in the Everglades. And then they do that with the Devil's Punch Bowl. In the Everglades at the former Dade Cooler airstrip, capable of holding up to 5,000 detainees. The facility earned its nickname due to its remote location and surrounding dangerous wildlife, alligators, pythons, mosquitoes that serve as natural deterrents. Didn't the scripture say they shall cast some of you into prison? This is everything that's being prepared. This is the beginning of Jacob's trouble, man. This is about to get intense, man. But bros that have done and kept the Lord's word, this is what the Lord said. It says, verse 11, Isaiah 65:11, it says, But ye are they that forsake Yahweh, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and furnish a drink offering unto that number. All these jakes that want to sit here and be these proud American citizens, right? Therefore, I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. You Jake that didn't want to take the message and run with it, like bros that sincerely believe these scriptures, you're going to bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear. And how is the Lord calling and answering? How is he speaking that you're not hearing? Through the prophets, right? Scriptures tell you the Lord sent all his prophets rising early and sending them, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose the thing, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. How many niggas went from Biden, voting for Biden, all gun ho for fucking Biden, all go gun ho for what's his name, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush, and then Trump came around the second time. All these niggas, all these so-called Latinos wanted to sit here and be all for Trump. You delighted in a thing that the Lord didn't like, man. Verse 13, it says, I'll finish out 12. It says, when I speak, they did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delight not. It says, verse 13, therefore, thus say Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And that's what you see in Jake in. They're in a shamed space, right? And bros that's in this thing that believe in the prophecies, they're waiting for the Lord. I mean, while we're still catching our hell, we still, going through the shit. Seeing these type of prophecies start popping off, it's bringing joy to bros, man. These are things we spoke of, and in the midst of us speaking of these things, certain bros came in. Fruit got built up. Brothers being sincere about the work, trying to grow themselves and trying to put out these lessons, and we got abused and misused, talked shit on, called grapers by these niggas that sit there and talk about the law. But when you start getting into the nastiness of the law, then these niggas sit here and try to slander you like they don't read the same book, because they want to be considered world friendly. The scriptures ain't world friendly. The Lord ain't world friendly. He said that in the scriptures. It says the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High. So now that we see these things popping off and Jake is finally starting to get judged, this is a time where we're rejoicing, but you're ashamed. Niggas that sat here and voted for Trump. Oh, I'm so ashamed that I voted for him. He deported my family. Right? Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. This is what Jake is. You didn't want to get the word. Your name is like a curse to bros that are sincere in doing what the Lord commanded. Like, yeah, it might be fucked up to see our own people catch this, but we know damn well it ain't happening for no reason. For Yahweh shall slay thee and call his servants by another name. So, I just wanted to get into that. There's a lot of this stuff is linking together, and Esau setting up a whole second slavery through this shit, man.
How bad is
using the law to justify it? So, shalom.